In this section, we are going to go through the security page. The first tab on this page is the Firewall tab. The Firewall tab allows us to enable or disable the firewall functionality on the router. We are also given the option of filtering certain traffic coming in from the Internet. Under the Firewall section, we have SPI Firewall Protection. Stateful Packet Inspection, or SPI, is a type of firewall that keeps track of connections going outbound and will allow the return traffic for those connections to back through the firewall. This option is enabled by default, which means the router acts as a firewall and will block connections coming in from the Internet. If we disable this option, the firewall functionality will be disabled and the router will allow all incoming from the Internet. Disabling this feature is not recommended because devices on the inside network can easily be attacked from the Internet. The next section is Internet Filter. The first option is Filter Anonymous Internet Request. When this option is enabled, the firewall will not respond to discovery requests coming in from the Internet. For example, if the firewall is pinged from the Internet, the firewall will see the request but will not respond to it. This option makes the router stealthy and harder to detect. The recommendation is to leave this option enabled unless you have specific reasons for wanting the router to respond to such requests. Next, we are given the option to filtering multicast. Multicast is a type of traffic that is sent out from one host to multiple destinations. For example, a video stream can be sent out to 100 hosts at the same time using a single multicast stream. Because we are sending out one stream instead of 100, we save bandwidth and other resources. If you don't have a need for incoming multicast traffic from the Internet, disable this option. Next, we have Filter Internet NAT Redirection. Let's see how this filter works. In this example, we have a PC and a web server on the inside network. For this filter to work, we need to have set up port redirection. In this example, we have set up the router to forward incoming Internet connections on port 80 to the internal web server. By default, port forwarding also forwards connections from inside hosts. When Filter NAT redirection is disabled, inside host can access the server using the router's outside IP address. To disable this functionality and only allow the inside host to access the server by its internal IP address, enable this feature. Next, we have Filter Ident on port 113. Ident is used to identify the username of logged-in users on a PC. So when a PC receives an ident request, it replies with the name of the user that is connected to the machine. When this functionality is enabled, the router will drop all ident requests coming in from the Internet. This option is enabled by default, which is the recommended setting. The next section is Web Filter. The first setting, Proxy, when enabled, will block all connections that are going through a proxy server. A proxy is an intermediary system that is usually used to protect servers. But attackers can set up proxies to pretend they are a trusted host. When this happens, they can do what is called a man-in-the-middle attack. It is recommended to leave this feature disabled because many sites use proxies for protection, and enabling this feature may block you from legitimate sites. Proxy blocking should be done on the PC. Next, we have Java and ActiveX. Java and ActiveX are scripting or programming languages and are used to enhance the web browsing experience by allowing dynamic web page creation. Untrusted sites may install malicious code on your machine using these scripting languages. Again, it is best to leave these disabled on the router and enable Java and ActiveX blocking on end systems. This way, you can still take advantage of this functionality from trusted sites and block untrusted sites on a case-by-case basis on the end system. Cookies are used to store data on your machine and keep track of your sessions. For example, if you are doing online shopping, a server may put a cookie on your system that contains information about what is in the shopping cart, or a cookie may contain user preference settings for a site. Again, it is recommended to block cookies on the end system and not on the router. This way, a user can make a case-by-case decision to accept a cookie from servers. This completes the Firewall tab. Next, we are going to go through the VPN Pass-Through tab.